7 minutes after the hour, Saturday, August 8th, 2020. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, is on the line with me. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. And we have a special guest in studio. One of my favorite people in all the world is here. Maria Sascha Khan, the world famous ballerina from Prairie, Montana.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on.
I know. I appreciate that so much. Man, this has been this virus has to be a thing for you because,
Yeah.
I mean, it would be easier for me to tell people in the world where you haven't performed than where you
Oh,
have.
yeah.
You're in Russia, you're in England, you're in France, you're in Poland, you're in Hungary, you're in Czechoslovakia. Well, it's not Czechoslovakia anymore.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
How is the virus affecting your
Oh, it's been huge. It's been interesting because speaking to some local businesses and people, it's interesting to see the difference between how it's affected my industry and how it's affected sort of more on a local scale. And for the performing arts industry, it's been, I don't like to use this word, but basically kind of devastating.
Yeah.
Artists are just completely out of work. Almost all the theaters in the world are shut down, and people don't know when they'll be able to reopen.
Yeah.
And for a sector that's as sort of dependent on support, sponsorship, that kind of thing as the performing arts, especially in particular ballet, it's been just so difficult. And all four of us, because all four of us in my family are artists,
right?
And we're usually all over the world. So it's been really wonderful to be in Montana. We're all here in Montana.
Yeah.
It's also been very, unusual for us because, like you said, we're used to just being all over the place, sharing our art.
Yeah, we follow each other on Instagram and
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
and various places,
yeah.
and you always send pictures of where you are
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
I always tell people, whenever you're on, I always picture you out in the barn practicing on a piece of plywood.
I love that.
with the cows and the horses
Yeah.
watching you. And how in the world does a girl, and particularly your whole family, your brothers, are world class as
Yeah.
well. So, I think people who don't know your story, how in the world does you should be barrel racing or
Yeah. I said to my mom the other
racing
day.
horses or
Yeah.
something.
I saw that there's like the MSU Rodeo Club,
Yeah.
which I didn't know about until the other day.
Yeah.
And I said to her, oh, wow, that's what I would do, if I was here
Yeah.
in Montana. She's like, wait, what? I said, well, you're from Montana. It's awesome. It's unique to hear.
I was going to say girls here hunt,
Yeah.
they barrel race, they race horses.
Exactly.
They,
Yeah.
Work the farm.
Yeah, and I grew up, being outside without a TV and completely just immersed in and loving Montana. But my mom really wanted to make sure to expose us to the fact that there's so many possibilities of what you can do with your life. And it doesn't matter if you come from a really rural town or, the middle of nowhere, that it might not be easy, but, go for it. There's a way that you can take those steps to make your dreams happen. And in a very realistic way as well. You have to put the work in, but don't think you can't do it just because that's where you're from. So that's kind of what was ingrained in us from a young age. And the long story is pretty long, but the short story is that there's four of us, and all four of us chose to become classical ballet dancers, and that's taken us around the world. Yeah. And I was first discovered by a Russian teacher who saw the potential in me to be professional. And at that point, I didn't know anything, about it. So mentorship is a huge part of that. And that's why we founded our nonprofit arts organization over 16 years ago, was to mentor and support other young artists and be able to help them not only through scholarships, but also mentoring, advice, and encouragement. There's one young man who, we'll get to in a second, who we've been mentoring, and he's now himself from Montana, from Great Falls, and he's gone on now to Russia as well, which is where my brothers studied and made history.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Russia's kind of the big deal here, isn't it?
For ballet. Yeah,
it's kind of the the Bolshevik
they take it very seriously, and they love it. So it's like if you want to talk about football in the U.S., you can talk to almost anyone. So in Russia, if you want to talk about ballet, it's the same. You can talk to almost anyone. They'll have a full in-depth conversation with you.
And how hard is it to? I guess when when you go study in places like this,
Yeah.
the language barrier
Yeah.
in the beginning has to be a
Right. Well, that's an interesting point because the terminology for ballet is all in French, meaning that if you learn that terminology, which you should be taught when you start, learning ballet, that's the terminology. All of the steps are in French. You can still understand the teacher, so you can understand the exercises they're giving in certain, things. Beyond that, I suggest you learn the language of where you are.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier. That's what we've all done.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
hard is it to learn Russian? We hear these
Yeah.
foreign languages and we think,
Right.
we have an advertisement on here for Babbel that teaches all
Oh,
these
yeah.
languages,
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you pick it up pretty quickly because your focus is narrow just on ballet? You're not talking about history and geography and things like that. You're just
Yeah.
talking about ballet terms and terminology. Is that pretty easy to pick up? Or
It is in the way that if you're in that country, you're immersed in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, you don't have the option to fall back on, oh, I don't feel comfortable trying out this new language, so I'm just going to stick with English.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is a huge factor as opposed to learning it just in school in a classroom where a teacher is speaking English to you,
Yeah. Sure.
And then beyond that, yeah, it is interesting. Then I think whatever reason you're in that country for, then you're learning those words. So,
Right. Yeah.
for example, in Russian, for me, it's quite easy to understand my coach if she's talking to me about something to do with coaching me
Right.
and about ballet things. But if she goes on and talks about, something completely different, like
A
history,
restaurant down
I
the
might
street
not
or
know what
something.
she's talking
Yeah.
about. In French and German, I'm completely fluent. So that's because I spent many years in those countries. So
Right.
that's fine. And my brothers are completely fluent in Russian.
Yeah.
More fluent almost than many Russians. So it's
Yeah.
funny.
Do you find yourself starting in one language and then flipping over to another one when you're talking because
Yeah,
it's hard to keep one language straight in your mind?
Yeah. It's funny. My brothers, Julian and Nicholas McKay, since they've been in Montana here, they're wanting to keep the Russian up. So they'll just have full conversations with each other,
In
switching back
Russian,
and forth.
just to keep the language.
Yeah. Or if they don't know, if they don't want to
Yeah.
know what there's someone else to know what they're saying. So,
Yeah.
and then my sister Nadia, she speaks French and Italian. She speaks German and so
Yeah, I was going to say Italian's another opera. They're more
Yeah.
operatic maybe than they are the dancing or the ballet.
yeah, exactly.
There.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Shane, any thoughts there for Maria Sascha
Yeah,
Khan?
I want to know how many sheets of plywood they wore out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
she
I
didn't
missed the
have she didn't have
question.
her headphones on. So give her that question again.
I just want to know how many sheets of plywood in the barn did you wear out?
Oh, unlimited.
Yeah.
The amount of point shoes I wore out was quite the.
I bet.
Yeah. My parents always say that they'd have, like 5 new cars if they hadn't been buying point shoes.
Probably.
So yeah.
'Cause those, what do they cost? Just out of curiosity.
Well, now I represent a brand called Gainer Minden, and their shoes use state-of-the-art technology. So it's still going to cost you about $100 a pair, but they last you a lot longer.
Yeah.
And when I was in school, I could even go through a pair, like 2 pairs a week, and they'd cost $60
Wow.
each. Even more
Yeah,
for
because
some brands.
you're on your toes all the time, so it's not that the shoe wears out, the toes wear out. I guess, so.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
they're made from wood and shellac, and that's why I like these
Yeah.
other shoes now. But the ones that I wore while I was in training, also I have very flexible feet, which is amazing for ballet. It looks great, looks beautiful, but it's also not great for the bank account
Yeah.
when they're trying to
I hear you.
buy you the shoes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why also we try to focus on giving sponsorship to students where they can actually use that cash and use that money in whatever way they need. Because, for example, my siblings and I, we always got full scholarships whenever we'd go away places, but you still have to cover the cost of, like we were saying, the point shoes, and you have to cover accommodation, flights, all that kind of thing.
Sure.
So we try to give that kind of all around support as much as we can. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're just joining us, we're talking with Maria Sascha Khan, world-class ballerina from Prairie, Montana, of all places. So, we cover the gamut here in Montana. We
Yes.
have everybody here. So,
Amazing place here.
We appreciate it. Well, you got an event coming up that we need to talk about here real quick. The Yellowstone International Arts Festival. It's going to be in Paradise Valley, August 15th, and due to the virus, we are going to have limited seating for this event, and you need to call 579 6414, I guess that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get to the right light. I'm old.
Nope, you got it.
579-6414.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about what this is, who all's going to be there, and what people can expect if they want to attend.
Yeah, so it's a very exciting thing. We were talking earlier about how the coronavirus has affected our industry, and honestly, this is really a labor of love. It's a way for us and many other artists to get together and be able to still give back to the community and be able to create something of hopefully giving joy and beauty and hope to people. And we started this festival last year, so this is the second annual Yellowstone International Arts Festival. And we have a really beautiful group of artists. We have Nina Kotova. She's one of the top cellists in the world. And I say that with, if you look her up, you'll see what I mean. She's amazing. She's going to be playing The Dying Swan to a live performance by a principal dancer from American Ballet Theater. My brother, Julie McKay, who's one of the biggest stars in the ballet world and is crossing over also to other industries as far as his recognition.
How old is your brother now?
He's 22.
So he's at the peak. He's
actually really young. So he's a baby.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But he's at the top of his.
Gutenhoff, I think, well into his 40s, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
And then he went to movies. Die Hard. You'll be in a Die Hard movie.
There you go. Days. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he loves, and we all love exploring the connections between the different art forms. Yeah. But he's a baby. He's a huge superstar in the ballet world, but he's just 22. My youngest brother, Nicholas, is just 19. He trained also full-time at Bozeman Bolshoi Ballet Academies, and he's now a very talented photographer, videographer. So if you go on the website, www.YellowstoneInternationalArtsFestival.org, he's the one actually that shot the gorgeous photo that we have for the poster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we have 2 world premieres as well. We have a very talented young musician, singer / composer. His name's Samuel Siskind, and his mom was born here in Montana, and he's made his premiere already at Carnegie Hall, and also had his new composition premiered in Hong Kong. And we have an all-new original work being choreographed to one of his compositions, and he's just 13 years old. Yeah. So this is quite incredible, and already, professional. And so we also have a new piece that's going to be done to Bach piece of music, and we have a very talented young opera singer that we've been mentoring. So there's quite we also have a couple coming, Beck and Sisk and Chase O'Connell, that are going to be doing some gorgeous pieces. One of them is Diamonds from Balanchine, another contemporary piece. So it's quite a beautiful repertoire that's going to be presented. It's outdoors. There's limited to 50 seats because of the guidelines that we're following.
Yeah, you got to keep the distance and all that.
Yeah, and people don't need to worry. There's unlimited space for social distancing. And
yeah, it's outdoors, isn't it? Yeah.
It's outdoors. Yeah. Wherever you sit, you'll be able to see the stage. It's an outdoor stage and really just gorgeous views. So it's going to be a quite exciting night. We're really happy we're able to hold it because it's been quite a journey. It's been planned since October, but of course,
all before all this happened. Yeah,
it's been
well, we talked about it last
many
year,
times.
a couple of years ago. You had this going on. We talked about it then, and it was very successful then. So
it was a great success last year, and so it's been. What can I say? It's been an adventure, replanning it about 4 different times. So we're really excited. It's next weekend, Saturday, August 15th at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Okay. In these past ones that you put on, is this the third one?
Second one.
Second one. Okay.
Yeah.
At the last one, did you have mom show up and say, how does my daughter or my son get into ballet, or do you meet people like that at events like this? I mean, do people come and see if the kids if this is their bag or not?
We do, actually, and that's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up. This year, we have to focus on one main event on August 15th because of what we were just discussing.
Sure, I understand,
But last year, and the format that we normally hold it in, is that we have a part of it that is the professional show, and that really focuses on also exactly that, showing what is possible to become. What is the sort of ultimate goal, and bringing in really top international artists. And we also usually have a huge focus on youth and mentorship, and we have a whole separate event called the Fairy Tea for the Arts, which is an opportunity to showcase young talent, and there's educational demonstration. This year, we're kind of combining the two of them. So there will be a very small aspect of the August 15th performance that will showcase some of these young talents and some of the youth that we mentor. So combining them. And that gives an opportunity for anybody who would, as you say, have a question. Okay, could my child do this? Or what would it mean to learn from that, to see it? And honestly, for the kids to themselves see it. Because I do believe that if you can see it, you can believe it, you can dream it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to, bring to people.
Yeah. Well, I think even if even if the kids don't rise to your level, ballet is a discipline. It's good exercise. It's it's probably good for you as baseball, basketball, or football would be for So with your kids doing that or.
It is.
But yeah, there's disciplines, learning moves, controlling your body, all of those things.
And it's been proven also mentally and emotionally.
I think it's fun. It's fun to do.
Very, it's beautiful and they love it. It doesn't matter if they're gonna, we have a focus on helping those who are going to be professional, and then we also have a focus on community mentorship and inspiration. It doesn't matter if they're going to be professional or not.
Want to learn the basics and enjoy themselves, being able to dance in the barn.
Yes,
with
exactly.
Just some classical music if they want to, or rock and roll, I guess.
But it's amazing to see over the years then what that brought up in them. I mean, having worked and performed all over the world, what I've seen as a common denominator is that it doesn't actually matter even if you want to go into physics or if you want to go into something completely different. The inspiration that it can bring and what it can open up as far as possibilities of being, well, wait a second, they did that. That's quite an unusual path to take. Maybe I can take my own unusual path. So that's a big part of what I hope to inspire people as well. Yeah.
Has the music changed? Most of it obviously is Swan Lake. You dance to traditional, classic composer type. But are people expecting you to maybe dance to a little Bob Dylan or
actually
rock and roll or something like that? Or I would think you could make the same moves as long as the beat is there.
Yeah, there's quite so to be a professional. I'll speak from my own experience. To be a professional ballet dancer, you have to be very versatile nowadays, and even the biggest classical companies have a very big repertoire of modern and contemporary pieces, and new pieces, new choreographies.
Well, I was thinking of some things by Queen, for example, Bohemian Rhapsody or, We're the Champions or something like that.
There's, I think especially in the U.S., because there's a different background of U.S. or European. So in the U.S., I think they also have that kind of, they try to link that in order for people to be able to feel that they can relate to what's being presented from the ballet company. Yeah.
All right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're getting down to the bottom of the hour here. Again, we want to mention this is the Yellowstone International Arts Festival. It's going to be August 15, 2020. They only have limited seating, so you need to call 579-6414, 579-6414 for information on where it's going to be and how to get there and all of that. And they will limit it to limited seating because of the virus. So it's going to be outside. Wear your mask and, be responsible.
You can also look online at www.YellowstoneInternationalArtsFestival.org, and the information will be on there as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Jade, any final thoughts for Maria Sascha Khan?
All the best, and hopefully you'll be back on stage very soon.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Well, next weekend.
Yeah, there you are.
Montana style.
That'll be soon. All right. Again, Yellowstone International Arts Festival.org, and you can go there and get all the details. Maria Sascha Khan, always great to see you. Appreciate it every time you come.
Thanks so much. I love being on.
Yeah, we like touching base with you because you're such a dedicated person, and you're a great person, by the way, too. So
I'm blushing. No one can see though.
That's it, right? All right. Well, we're going to let's see here. You got a couple minutes left here, I guess. So, yeah, it's well, your mom too. Your mom posts on Facebook all the time, and
so she's the executive director.
Before,
she has. She's the executive director of the festival. So there's myself, Maria Sascha Khan. There's Nadia Khan, my sister. She dances with the Rome Opera Ballet. She's going to be performing actually also. She's the one that's going to be performing to this new work by Samuel Siskind, this new premiere. Yeah, very exciting.
Well, good, yeah.
Julian McKay, Nicholas McKay. So yeah, she raised a family of artists, and she herself is an incredible woman. So we're very grateful for that.
Yeah.
My dad actually passed away recently.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're doing this in memorial to him. He really wanted us to do it, and he was just as dedicated as we are to bringing this to people in the arts. So we're grateful for all the support from the community, and we really hope that everyone can come and enjoy it.
Well, in your case, it's kudos to your parents for, not just poo-pooing this as
yes, definitely. Yes.
No, this ain't going to happen in Montana.
Yeah, definitely. So grateful
for them
for
to support you and encourage you, and I think that's what it really takes to get you off the ground.
It does.
You've got to have the parents there that they're willing to drive you here or buy the shoes, like you say.
Yeah.
Give up cars for ballet shoes or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we try to have them see it, and so that's why I encourage people, if you can, come out, see what it is. You'll be so inspired.
Yeah, there you are. All right. Once again, Yellowstone International Arts Festival.org, and August 15th, next weekend. And 579-6414, or go to the website. Maria Sascha Khan, always a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
All
right. All right, we've got to go get ready for the show, and we'll be back following these important words. So stay tuned. Shane and I will return. Welcome back, everyone. 26 minutes for the top of the hour. Shane has a caller on the line, so, hey, let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, Tom and Shane. This is Jerry.
Jerry, how are you?
I'm doing fine, and I had called you Swiss Army knives.
Yeah.
I was asking a question of Shane because I'm ignorant of the fact what is woke, and he has explained it to me, so I am now knowledgeable. Yes,
all
sir.
right. Well, good. Yeah, I'm glad you're woke, finally.
Yeah, I was telling him woke was officially added to the Webster Dictionary in 2017.
Yeah.
Its meaning is to awake to sensitive social issues such as racism.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
All right.
Originally a black term, by the way.
Okay. Not being black, that's why I'm so ignorant.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, because the black community needs to be woke.
Oh, boy.
About what's going on. So.
Well, I think sometimes, believe me, I think they're more aware of what's going on than anybody gives them credit for.
Well, I would agree with that. So.
You're absolutely right about that.
I have to congratulate you on your patience last week when that gentleman from San Francisco
David called. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you gentlemen are absolutely award winners for being so patient with that man. Because remember the gentleman who called in when you sat in for Aaron Flynn, and he just railed on Steve Daines. And it's the same thing. They just if they don't want to. Yeah. They don't want to let you get a word in edgewise, and they're always telling you how to live, and it's just incredible. Are you fellas sitting on pins and needles waiting for Biden's pick for VP?
Oh, yeah.
I was just curious.
Oh, no, I've already called. I've already made the call.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Really?
The reason being, and I kind of poo-pooed that at the beginning, but I apologized to Shane on our podcast the other day that a bunch of red flags are coming up about her. That one is that Biden postponed the thing for 2 weeks. Michelle Obama's come out with a new blog and just went on NPR suffering from low-grade depression because of Trump. So I think they're setting her up to get her slowly seeped into the news daily, and then the president.
That's right. And then the two most respected women in the world, Oprah and Michelle, were on Oprah's new show because the same day she announced that the O magazine was going to go out of print. Yeah. I brought it up because that speech that Obama made at that funeral, you know,
right,
he goes to eulogize someone and then makes a political speech. I also think that for him to support Biden there was sort of a, you've got to consider her. And then now the demolition party's in such a panic over the black vote.
Yeah.
Obama came back and said, "Well, you want me to go out and save my legacy and campaign? You'll have to pick Michelle because I'll guilt those blacks into voting for us."
Yeah. Well, and also Michelle has met more black leaders probably than Kamala Harris or any of these other people. I mean, she has at least a relationship with the wives. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
so we'll wait and see. Yeah.
Well, the news is reporting the governor from Michigan, Kamala Harris, and Susan Rice, I think.
Yeah, those are the two front runners, I believe. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I hope it's Susan Rice.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You're a glutton for punishment there.
Right. Well, we got to have something to talk about here. We can't have boring radio.
Yeah, well, you talk about... Let me ask you a question, gentlemen. Would you ever want to go to New York if you got to show those folks your papers to get into that place? I mean, good grief.
Can you believe we talked about that yesterday on the podcast? $643 million in hotel revenue the city's losing. So now he puts a ring around the city and seals it off from anyone to visit it.
Yeah. And what does that cost to run
this guy?
Well, what does it cost? How many people do you have to post at a bridge so traffic doesn't back up to New Jersey or Maryland? and you got to have 3 shifts at least, and they got to have breaks, and they got to have dinners and lunches and stuff. And it's got to be 24/7, and I don't know how many ports of entry into New York there are. I think there's 7 or 8 bridges at least.
Well, didn't the governor of New York try to sue the state of Rhode Island for doing the same thing for people from New York coming up there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It gets goofier and goofier by the day. But I'm going to get off the line. But I'd like to leave you. I'd like to leave you with a little word of wisdom. Okay,
all right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
When the sun shines all the time, all that's left is a desert.
Okay.
So if a little rain falls into your life, causes better things to bloom.
That's true. All right.
All right.
Excellent, Jer.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right.
Have a good one, buddy.
Let's take another call. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, Daniel R. Peterson finally found an issue that is with the majority.
Oh, yeah?
According to a Gallup poll a couple of years ago, now 72% of the Americans think the invasion of Iraq was, quote, wrong decision.
That's a 20-year-old story, buddy.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me.
I don't think you're bringing any. I don't think you're surprising anybody with that comment.
Yeah.
Well, let me get a question for you in here, but
right.
Well, then I'll skip the Pew poll. That the majority of people now think that it was a poor attempt of regime change, and we're trying to force our kind of democracy and our idea of freedom, like nude women walking around on stage into the eyes of a different country. But when I tried to get out this zinger that I was already protesting the Iraqi war before the Iraqi war began there on Rouse Street in Maine, I think that with the fog of war, you guys turn your back on me. But what do you
That's
guys?
not true. I mean, don't you remember 12 years ago Obama's apology tour? For the Iraq War and the wars in the Middle East. I mean, he won a Nobel Peace Prize because of it.
Well, the other thing I have to mention, David, is every Saturday during that time, I drove down to the station, and there were protesters protesting the Iraq War in front of the courthouse. Right?
Courthouse.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah. And and as soon as Obama was inaugurated, you guys were gone.
Not me. I was out protesting him.
No, you weren't. There wasn't anybody out there. They were totally gone. and they never showed up again.
Well, no, we showed up again. I
No,
was
you
on
didn't.
the inside. Now and again we showed up.
Oh, now and again. I see. It was
now.
yeah. It was more important to be there every day every Saturday when Bush was in office. But when Obama came in, well, it's we'll go down there when the weather's okay.
Yeah, Obama did have the war in Libya too.
Yeah.
So I would say that
I didn't see any protests for that.
Well, no, you weren't. Your country wasn't engaged in a war in Libya. They just took down they just took down the leadership and destroyed the country, which resulted in a massive collapse in the Middle East. And it may take a century for them to get out of it.
Yeah, and there's no country I know of that we went into that we tried to change them over to democracy or republicanism or anything else. Germany's the same as it was before Hitler. Japan's the same as it was before, Hirohito or whoever.
Ojo.
Yeah.
That's old information. You just accused me of using old information.
Well, you're giving me old information.
We're both old guys.
We are. That's what I say.
Well, yeah.
I do think though one thing we can all agree on. War is not a viable option unless you're attacked first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have so much more money to do these infrastructure things. If we wouldn't have to be printing money as fast as the presses will go. In fact, the presses are worn out. Now it's just a guy pushing buttons to create more trillions of dollars. The presses couldn't keep up with printing money anymore.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for the call, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I've got to make an announcement here because it's going to affect our show. We're not going to be here next Saturday because this week coming week, I am going into the hospital for elective surgery. Nothing serious, just, having some things done to improve me. So we won't be here next Saturday. We hope to be here on the 22nd, though. This shouldn't be too serious. So hopefully we'll be back. And podcasts, we will probably still be able to do podcasts during the week other than my surgery day and maybe the day after. But I will keep you posted. And Shane and I will do our best to be on the air as much as possible during that time. We may do a Saturday podcast if we aren't going to be on the air physically here. But if we're not here next week, don't panic because we will be back. Unless they change the door code, then I don't know what to do then. But anyway. So, we'll be letting everybody know that all during the show, and we'll post some things on Facebook and whatever. So, anyway, so that being done, Shane, there's all kinds of things going on here in beautiful downtown Montana. I got to tell you. The first thing, the parents are going crazy over this school thing, Shane. Going nuts. The school board prefers that students be in class 5 days a week, and so I don't know what they're gonna do with the schools. What's going to happen there? So I don't know. The trustees are leaning toward having students return to school 5 days a week this fall, rather than learning in school 2 days and home 3 days, because the parents got to work, Shane, or they got to arrange for daycare or something. And, I would think daycare is as much danger as being in school, if not more. So,
well, not younger, not grade school or preschool, but certainly high school.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so.
And most kids in high school today should be in daycare.
Well, that's true. Yeah. The wife was asking me last night, how are the Democrats doing with reducing the voting age to 16? And I said, My voting at 16 would have been a disaster.
Yeah, well, they're inside polls in the demolition party. You saw Schumer yesterday. Now
Yeah.
switched completely and says schools should open.
Yeah.
So as I've called in the last 3 weeks now constantly, that'll be the October surprise. States that don't open schools, they're going to get hammered, particularly by the suburban vote.
Yeah. Well, apparently they had a Zoom meeting Thursday that stretched more than 8 hours. That's depressing, right? To sit in front of your computer for 8 hours and watch the Zoom meeting. But they had anywhere from 300 to 9 people at any one time on this thing, I guess. 36 people spoke and hundreds email comments. And so I don't know that there's a good answer to this, Shane. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know.
No, you got to open schools.
Well, I think you do, yeah.
There's no being damned. No, you know, and teachers have no say in this whatsoever.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be expressing an opinion. They shouldn't be making demands. They shouldn't be threatening a strike. It's clear now to parents across your country what the real basis of concern that teachers have, and it's self-interest. And that's really sad because it's a major aspect. 76 million kids in school, 100 billion probably spent this year for preschool by parents for their kids to go to school. There's 12 million children in New York City alone that need the meals, the breakfast and lunch that they get when they go to school. Not to mention the handicap, not to mention the harm done to children being for schools being able to observe them and know if they're being cared for properly. I mean, the list is so long, it amazes me. And the big one was, we talked about it not last week, but the week before, where the teachers came out and said, well, we don't want to do in-home learning because it's an affront to us to allow our students to see where we live and to see the inside of our apartment. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Someone needs to wake up.
Yeah. Well, that too. Plus, they said that, they not only have to teach the kids, but they've got to take care of their own families. So, well, yeah, you do. What else is new?
That's right. It's
and I'm up till 2 in the morning.
Over 60% of the teachers in your country are under the age of 41.
Yeah.
And less than 9% are over 60. So this is not a hard choice. If people over 60 don't want to teach, don't teach, and perhaps retire and allow younger, more vivacious teachers to come into play. And we'll see how it works, but it won't work well if they shutter the schools.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The teachers union has some power here. Obviously, they could tell everybody, no, you can't go back, and the teachers would have to, or cross the picket line, which probably.
Well, I had the
opportunity to
teach once. I had the opportunity to teach once in Billings at West High School because of a school strike. So, I went down and I taught social studies and history and mathematics.
Yeah.
So if that's what it takes so that children continue to be educated, and this was back in the 70s, the late 70s. So if that's what it takes to teach children, then let's get her done.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have had a fun class. Your class would have been a fun class to take. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I walked around with a yardstick.
I bet you did, yeah. Mr. Monty. Mr. Monty's class.
But I wore a suit and tie every day.
Of course you did, yeah. I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't think teachers wear suits and ties. They always wore suits and ties when I went to school, but I don't think they do anymore. I think it's
khakis and a golf shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's what it is. Well, geez.
Well, women wear, sundresses.
Well, yeah, whatever. But I don't know. I see teachers. Some wear shorts. Some wear, whatever. They don't show up in pajamas and sweatpants. But next best thing.
They would if they could.
Well, they would if they could. Yeah, agree with that. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have a dress code here. Well, we sort of do for KMMS during the week because we have guests in. So, the rule is you dress just a little bit better than the guests. Is the rule here at KMMS.
Right. This coming from a guy who's wearing a sleeveless T-shirt.
Right.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
This is to show off my.
Got you on that one, Ego.
Got my big arms here. The big guns are showing. Oh well. Let's see from our text line 478-8298. Don't forget Trump wanted to buy Greenland and said the Gulf War we should have kept their oil. I'm greedy. Donald Trump 2016 speech in Nevada. I would agree with that. I think we should have kept their oil.
Well, you do have claim on their oil until you're repaid for the cost of the Iraqi.
That's what I was going to say. Hey, you got to pay for our wall, don't you know? And yeah, another texter wanted me to ask Maria Sascha Khan, please ask her if she can teach our football players to curtsy instead of taking a knee. that would be a good one.
Actually, quite honestly, about 10 years ago, that was a regimen that a lot of football players, particularly wide receivers and so forth, did. Yeah. They took dance lessons.
They did, yeah, because
to learn balance, to learn their balance. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Yeah. I remember hearing all about that.
They must have looked great tights.
I bet. Well, they almost wear tights now. Pretty tight uniforms, I'll tell you. I don't know how they move as well as they do. Let's take another phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Whoops, maybe not. All right, didn't wait. All right. Be patient. We'll get to you. We've got 3 hours here. From our text line, for our text line 478-8298. One reason children may not be affected and or don't shed a virus is that they are still developing their ACE2 receptors, which is one receptor the Chinese virus uses and needs for cell entry. That's from Paul. So that may be true.
That's right. And they have a very elevated immune system, and their body is full of T cells because the body's constantly developing. And children have to develop resistance to food allergies and other type of allergies that are out there. So their body is teeming with T cells.
Yeah. Another from our text line, if Speaker of the House ascends to President and the majority in the House changes in midterm election, does the presidency go to the new Speaker?
No. I had this discussion with my sister Valia the other day that this whole plan is for the demolition party to put off the election and until the new year. The way this would work, and has happened actually in the past in your history, the new House will sit, barring that there's no confusion in certain districts, and whoever has the majority in the House would then move to elect a president.
Yeah,
that would probably be the most likely thing.
Yeah. All right, let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling you on the air. What's going on?
Morning, Tom and Shane. This is Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Speaking of things that are going on,
yeah,
quad wrestlers are doing tater pigs up at Lindley Park.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's a drive-through at Lindley Park.
That's right. Yeah. 3 to 7 today and 12 to 4 on Sunday.
Yeah, we're not going to have a sweet pea, but the tater pigs are going to be there, so...
we got to keep people remembering Sweet Pea will come back.
Yeah, I think it's $5 and exact change.
Potato
No, we're asking for
I hope they have a potato roll.
Okay, for donations. All right, sounds good. All right, man. Hey, thanks for the info. Appreciate it. All right, thanks, Paul. All right. All right, we got to go here. We got news at the bottom of the hour. We got all kinds of things coming up here. You may have noticed that we don't have any more Rush Limbaugh, no Shapiro, no whoever. So those things are gone. So enjoy the stuff that takes their place. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It is 8 minutes after the hour. It's Saturday, August 8th, 2020. And we just lost Shane on the Skype, but we still have him on the phone, I think. So let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, I'll tell you, I want to talk two things, Tom.
Go for it.
Maybe three.
All right.
The first one is really important. I've talked to a lot of people, been in the stores lately, and stuff. Mm-hmm. And of course, they know me by my voice,
Yeah, right.
And they've asked me, why can't Tom and Shane be on every day? And the guys at Caterpillar down there on 19th really like your program, but not so much as Aaron Flynn is, because he talks about everything around the state, not much about here.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you that.
Yeah. Well, we hear that regularly. It is what it is, to quote President Trump.
Yeah. Well, my next thing is this, two more things.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbor down here, Kristen, she went to see her folks out in Seattle. And she was telling me about the homeless and the people along the highways and stuff there in Seattle and what was happening there. She said it was very disgusting.
Yeah.
And the city doesn't do anything with it. And that's happening in the last week. She went out and come back. Now, the most important thing I wanted to talk about is this.
In the city?
Well, there was quite a bit, and then there was quite a few people homeless just living along the interstates and stuff there in Seattle, I guess.
Oh yeah, they got a huge.
Telling me.
Yeah, they got a huge homeless problem in all these cities.
What's that saying about our country? Ain't there something kind of haywire somewhere?
Well, it's saying a lot about. We have homeless here, not near the amount that they do there, obviously. We've got people living under the overpass out on I-90. I've always said, if you're homeless in Montana right now, it's August. If you're not headed south right now,
you bet.
You're stupid.
That's right. I agree.
Because otherwise, you're gonna freeze to death in a U-Haul truck like that guy did 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, my next thing is, and I'm going to get off, is this. And it's very important for everybody out there that's wearing masks and talking about the COVID-19 and how dangerous it is and one thing and another,
Yeah.
My grandson lives in St. George, Utah. He works for a big company. Mm-hmm. And he found out in a test, when they tested him, he had COVID-19.
Yeah.
So they told him he had to go home. So he went home for 14 days or so.
Yeah.
And then he got over it. Then he went and got tested again and stayed in. He had to wait out 10 more days. So then at the end of all of it, and the 24 days, he was still COVID-19 positive. So he went to the doctor. The doctor gave him a slip and told him to go to the health department. And the health department gave him a slip that said he could go back to work even though he had COVID-19. Now, if that ain't something, I think that we've been fed, Tom, on this COVID-19 as a lot of BS.
I agree with you. I think there's so much misinformation out there that, we don't know what to believe. We talked yesterday, Shane and I, on the Sturgis rally where people, you got a couple 100,000 people over there, and a lot of them refuse to wear masks. They're not going to wear masks. They're not going to let the government tell them what to do. And I think a lot of people have reached the end of their rope here with this, Clint, that I appreciate the fact that a store has the right to tell me not to come in with a mask on or without a mask on. But, I think a lot of people are saying, well, you know what, I'm just not going to do that. I'll buy online, or I'll do something alternative to that. And that's going to hurt our local economy. It's going to hurt our local business owners.
That's right.
And, all of this is we're selfish that we want to live our lives. As Shane points out a million times, everything they've done is to take away all the things we enjoy. We can't go to sports events, can't go to movies, can't go here, can't go there. Can't do the things we could do before. And, we feel like our rights are being trampled on by the health department and the government and everybody else.
Well,
and Clint, the concern I have is that we're told by Dr. Fauci and all these great scientists, self-isolate, wear a mask, go out and wear a mask. Oh, and wear goggles now. And yet, self-isolated criminals, give them a mask. They should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the lawyers
kick them out.
They're too inclined. They're too inclined. So the case in point in New Jersey, a rapist was released because of this threat of COVID-19, drove to the apartment of the young girl that had him imprisoned and shot her, killed her.
Yeah.
The police chased him down, and he shot himself. He committed suicide. Yeah. So, people have to really think about what their government is saying. This is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing for any of the people of America. But I want to say this here. I think that the governor of South Dakota, I'll take my hat off to her. She's allowed to, you don't have to have masks or nothing. And just look at what's happening in her state.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, see? And so what I'm saying, there's a deep state that's running this, that's got this government right by the shorts. And it's all about money and power. And I'm sure sick of Fauci, Bill Gates, and some of these folks that actually should be in jail. They actually should be. They've lied to us. They've cheated us, and then they want to make money, and then they want to have patents on some of the vaccines and stuff, and I won't name who that is. But, it's a damn shame that us sheeple, we're sheeple out here. We're like a bunch of sheep. We listen and believe every damn thing the government says now, but the government isn't telling us any of the truth anymore. They're lying to us.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they actually know what's going on.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It changes day to day. They keep moving the goalposts every 10 minutes. This is okay. That's okay. This isn't okay. And I don't know where I don't know where it ends, because I agree with Fauci on one thing. I think it's going to get worse as we go into, particularly if people start going back to school, more people start going back to work. It's going to get worse. And
I don't think so, Tom.
You don't think so?
No, sir. And the reason I say this is the younger folks, some of them have got it. I understand.
Yeah.
If you compare what the 150 or 60,000 we've lost from this COVID-19 and compare it with the tuberculosis, how many we've lost in this country, it's in excess of 1 million a year. And just TB. Then that ain't counting the flu. I mean, when you compare all of these various different other things we've died from in this country, the COVID-19's nothing. It is actually nothing. And guess what? Como he started it. He put the COVID-19 people in the nursing homes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, and now he's coming out and saying, oh, we're one of the best now. We haven't lost any. Everything is going down, and it's all good. I'll tell you, Tom and Shane, it's a bunch of crap. What we're being fed, and the people are a bunch of sheep out here that believe this crap. I mean, I'm 85 years old, and I'm not stupid. Sometimes I might be, but most of the time I'm not. But it's a shame what they're doing to the American people and the businesses. The businesses right here in Bozeman, Montana, that are going broke. It's hurting people. and then you wonder why people are committing suicide. Our government has done it. The sheeple.
Mm-hmm.
They put something on us that's terrible. That it's not so. And it makes me madder than hell to see a government doing what they're doing, and Trump is trying to offset it, and people are cussing him, because he does. And now he's taken off of Twitter. He's taken off of Facebook. What is that saying to the American people?
Well, that it's telling you free speech is an option now. It's not a right.
And the woman there in New York, the Attorney General of New York, trying to sue the NRA, to get it, to dispose of them. In other words, to dissolve the corporation,
Yeah.
It's just, and then they counter sue back. It's just a bunch of crap, Tom.
Yeah.
And that's
I
people
agree.
out here better wake up.
Yeah. Well, the NRA is, supports the rights of gun owners. Why is the NRA any different from AARP that supports seniors? Why? What's the difference between those two things? Yeah, there's none. There's none.
If they'll up here and them to have big dinners and stuff and cost the NRA a lot of money, that's up to the members of the NRA, not an attorney general of the state of New York.
Yeah, if you're not happy with the way the thing's being run, you can always opt out. You can quit anytime you want.
Well, I want to call her out, buddy, because de Blasio's wife was given $750 million by the City Council of New York, $750 million to help homeless and set up homeless operations and education, and it's gone. It's gone. Where's the investigation? That trial of hers in that case was supposed to go to court on the 5th of March. Oh, and then along comes the COVID, and they shut the courts down. But where's her investigation? In that.
That's right, Shane.
Well,
look at
750 billion.
With the government gave them $1.6 billion to take care of some of the people here, and where the hell's all that? They've only spent just a small fraction of that. The state of Montana has on the people here.
Yeah.
The people here in Montana need that money. The people of Montana and the world and the United States have been the taxpayers that produced all that money for government. And damn it, if they're giving it back to them to try to help them, let the state of Montana help these people and these businesses. What is happening here, people are rolling over, like I said, like a bunch of sheep.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think they're getting tired of it, Clint. I think these people wearing masks all over the place and having to, not being able to go and live their lives the way they want to. I think they're going to start revolting, and
they will.
We've already seen the demonstrations downtown for school reopening. The parents are down there with we've got this 8-hour thing on Zoom. I mean, people want their regular lives back, and they'll take their chances with the COVID.
High school we got out here, I call it the jail.
Yeah, it looks like a prison, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you and I, Tom, are paying for all of this crap.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
And we're paying the Johnson and all these other heads of state. And look at how they want to put the kids back in school.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people go back to school like they're doing in Sturgis. Let the people be themselves, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, the Sturgis thing, that's going to be interesting to see because you got people coming into one place from all over the country, Shane. And if there is a COVID-19 outbreak there, they're going to take it back to wherever they came from, give it to their families, friends, whatever. Many of them are going to be asymptomatic and don't even know they have it. So, but we won't be able to see that because the numbers won't increase enough to blame Sturgis for the outbreak. At least that's my opinion.
Unless, of course, unless there's an outbreak in Sturgis, which a town of 6,000.
Yeah, there's 6,000 or 7,000 is their population there. They got 250,000 people in there, and and the pictures they showed, at least on AP, almost nobody's wearing a mask anywhere, and they just
they all have motorcycle helmets, Thomas.
Well, that's right. Yeah, they got shields and everything, and of course they wear those all the time they're there. Right? Yeah. A lot of them just have bandanas over the top of their head, not over the bottom. So, I don't know, but yeah, I agree. The governor of South Dakota, aside from being easy on the eyes, has really done a good job over there. I think of whatever of her population, although it's a small population like we have in Montana, but I think that's the one saving grace we have here. Even though we've had 70 deaths for 1 million people, that's pretty good, I would say. And we've had 3,000 have recovered of the 4,700 that have been confirmed since the beginning of this. So,
well, she's on the bench for Pence to consider as a VP.
Yeah. Well, I would hope so, because I would certainly tune into her news conferences on a regular basis. Yeah, she's very articulate as well. Well, looking at Gallatin County in the age group 20 to 29, since the beginning of this, 371 people in the 20 to 29 age group, and 181 in the 30 to 39. So, in our case, the people who socially mingle, the 20 to 29, they date, they go to bars, they do things together. They go fishing together, they go hunting together, whatever they do together. And, the 30 to 39 group, same thing, and working together. It's no surprise that those between 20 and 40, we've got the most cases. And because those are the people that are probably being together more than, in my age group, we've got 20 total since the beginning that have the virus, because we just don't socialize as much, and we don't move around the community as much, because we're old. We stay home. We stay in the car. We all that stuff.
Well, we have 3,934 confirmed cases here in BC. We're up 53 from yesterday. No more deaths. We've lost 195 souls, and recovered 38. So 3,353 recovered. So we're still in that, 20%, 80% recovery area. So it's pretty good. Okay. Pretty good for us.
Yeah. Let's take a couple quick phone calls before we get to the bottom of the hour. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's your name? What's up? That's you. Oh, we got a Sandy, I'm sorry. We've got a really bad connection. I can barely hear you. Call us back. Can you do that? Okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks. Let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air. What's up? Hello. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait till Sandy calls back. We'll get that. Maybe we get that in real quick before the end of the hour here. So, yeah, let's.
The bottom of the hour.
Yeah, let's see if she's back here.
Hi, good morning.
There you are. That's better. Yeah, you were kind of gone there for a minute.
Patty now. Good morning. I didn't mean to interrupt Sandy's
that's okay.
call.
Good morning.
Just the way it lines up. Good morning, everybody. Tom, I wish you well with your surgery. Come through it with the best of health and a speedy recovery.
Will do. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. I wasn't going to call in because I'm just so drained, but I heard Clint call in, and I said, I've got to get out of bed. I've got to call in. I've got to share the heaviness in my heart. I want to mention a few things. Agenda 21. People will have to look it up if they don't have the internet. Maybe Shane, good morning. Tom, maybe you can just give the people a little bit of background on it if you have some time, maybe next week.
Sure.
It turns out the cities in Montana that signed up for Agenda 21, this shouldn't shock anybody. It's Bozeman, it's Helena, and Missoula. I will say, and that's as of 2011. I couldn't find a more recent article. Then there's the Agenda 2030. And then I also want to educate people about this new House bill that was put out there. A lot of people don't know about it. I was lucky enough to be told about it. And I don't want to, the numbers that go in sequence, I'm not going to say it with, I'm going to just put blanks in there. It's House Bill 66 blank blank, meaning another 66, okay?
Yeah.
So for me, as a believer, when you have those numbers together, to me, it means something, and I just, my spirit spins. So people should read about that. I also want to mention that California, if you haven't heard, by the way, I want to thank all of the callers, the radio family. We're all trying to help each other understand the insanity we're being forced to accept as being, do not ask questions. Do not question yourself. Wear your mask. Shut up. Wait for a vaccine. I mean, I've heard that constantly with other people on the TV and other people who are callers. And, we're all pretty much just in the same boat of, they're asking us to just accept everything without using our brain. And to me, the brain, I value my brain. I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. I'm looking at everything with a real critical thinking brain, trying to make sense of everything. And California, they just this week, the LA mayor, I believe it is, if you hold a party or you do anything against what they tell you to do, we're going to shut off your water. We're going to shut off your electricity. And I'm not sure which area in California. A 16-year, I saw this, I think it was one of the Fox shows, had the lawyer on. A 16-year-old boy in a detention home was showing aggressive or some kind of behavior. They have a term for it. They've given it a name, a label, like ODD or OCD or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, what they did to a 16-year-old boy, they injected him with estrogen without his parents' consent. I mean, who are these people that they go ahead and they tell us, we know what's best for you? No. Now, the other thing, too, with the mask.
Okay, real quick. I got 20 seconds.
Do you want me to hold?
Yeah, why don't you hang on? Yeah.
Okie dokie.
You can talk to Shane.
Okie dokie.
All right, hang on. All right. Hey, it's 9:30 in the morning. Tom and Shane on AM 1450 KMMS in Bozeman, 1340 KPRK in Livingston. We'll be right back with more right after this. Stay tuned. 27 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Saturday. It's August 8th. It's 2020, and we've got Patty on the line. And Patty, how you doing? Let's see. From our text line, it's great. We don't have to listen to those repetitive rants anymore, but now we have your brilliant programmers playing the same interview every single day. The interview with the guy named Mark from England plays every single day during the week. What is wrong with your programming? Well, I'll have to check into that because I'm not familiar with what that is because I don't listen 24/7. So knowing that, and I will pass this on to the programmers that set all this stuff up and see what we can do. All right. What?
I just want to give people's edification what Patty brought up. Agenda 21 was established on the 23rd of April, 1992 by the UN. It's principally a Green New Deal guideline by the UN for developing countries and poverty-stricken countries to engage in development, and for the principal countries of the world to reduce their growth pattern of single-dwelling homes, and it's pretty excessive. Anyway, back in 2015, your legislators voted not to adopt it, and it lost. So I don't know. I guess your legislatures in your state are considering part of or all of Agenda 21 to be considered.
Yeah. Well, I think, as Patty alluded to, I think several of the city commissions have adopted some of the guidelines of that because everybody is green now. I mean, we can't not be green. Come on. Oh, my God. So, but anyway, from our text line, 478-8298, oh, my God, that conspiracy kook woman is nuts. Bozeman did not sign on to Agenda 21. She needs to stay off those wacky sites. This is why Alex Jones is dangerous. And is it true about Bullock having a big party, no mask, no distancing? His neighbors witnessed it. So I looked online. I don't see anything about that. But if anybody has any info on that, 522-TALK is the number, or 478-8298. Our text line is the answer. How many of the 70 people who died in Montana wore masks or died of something else but tested positive? Well, that's what we don't know, and that's why the numbers are a little hazy, Shane. That's what we're looking at, I think, when we look at these numbers. Was COVID-19 a contributor, or was it a direct cause? Hard to tell.
Yeah, with other preconditions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. So anyway, we'll deal with that as it comes along. So yeah, Agenda 21's been kicking around for a while, and I don't think anyone is taking it seriously. It's like the Paris Peace Accord. It doesn't have any teeth in it. Nobody's going to do anything to you if you violate the Paris Peace Accord, or if you don't meet your goals that they set up. Nothing's happening to you.
Well, I just think it's interesting because she brought it up, and on February 23rd, 2015, February 23rd, 2015, there was a Montana bill that banned implementation and education of police and principals in the United Nations non-binding Agenda 21 resolution. It failed by 59 to 41 during a floor vote, and 18 Republicans joined 41 Democrats in voting no. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298. You said we didn't take Germany after World War II. Now you think we should take oil. You are providing false information. Children recover from COVID better than adults, but there's no evidence they are immune or can't spread it, yet our stupid president claims they are immune. So dangerous. Well, he didn't say anything of the kind. He didn't say they were immune.
No.
So.
No.
All right.
He said he said they were almost immune because they have such a strengthened immune system. But of course, he's misrepresented in the woke media, and we all know that. So that unfortunately, that's just the way we have to live with what we're being told.
No. Let's see, from our text line, just heard about the Presidential Debate Commission. Who created that? And how can there be conservative moderators with this commission in place? Well, if you remember during the Democrat commission, or the Democrat debates leading up to Joe Biden getting the nomination, or will probably get the nomination, Fox News was not allowed to do that. So, yeah. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
They barred anybody, any of the broadcasters from Fox being an interviewer. That's
there
right.
you are. All right. All right, let's take some calls. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was down, if I should have done the 0171 number.
Yeah, there you go.
It took forever to get through. But anyways, so what I wanted to say, I was in Sportsman's Warehouse yesterday.
Yeah.
And I wanted a new scope because I upgraded my 30-06 to a semi, and from the bolt. So, so I'm getting a new Lupoid scope, and I'll tell you what, that store is like empty. The guy said, he told me, I said, "Are you remodeling?" I asked. And he says, "No, we can't keep enough stock in here."
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about having a brisk business.
Yeah. China can't keep up.
Well, I hope my scope ain't made in China. I haven't checked it, but it won't be in for like a couple weeks. So, anyways, so with that guy talking about the tater pigs?
Yeah.
I thought that was a racist remark, Tom.
What's that?
I mean, well, he protested against pigs or potatoes or...
Yeah.
I mean, you know how long those have been out there, but I'm glad he called in about that. So
yeah, it should be a subterranean vegetable.
What, change the name to protect the innocent?
That's right. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, you can't. Everything's offensive now. You know, you can't say.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't say pigs anymore. You got to say. I don't know what I don't know what pigs are. I know cattle are bovine. I'm not sure what pigs are. Shane probably knows.
Well, I didn't know if they defunded the police and that was a fundraiser for them.
Well, that's it. Yeah. What is it? What do you get, a cop with a potato or what?
Who knows nowadays? But anyways, I just wanted to, put this out if I could.
Sure.
So I guess you can't have like a guest host in there next week, like Jacobus or someone.
I don't know. I could certainly ask about that. I hadn't thought about that, but that might be an option. Yeah, I could have Jacobus maybe if he'd like to do it.
Yeah, because I don't know if Kevin Montana's still allowed on the property or not, but he knows about Agenda 21, brother.
Yeah, there you are. All right.
So anyways, I just want to say, it's for the people that don't like Alex Jones.
Yeah.
But I'll go to it because your earlier caller talked about the replay, which comes like right after Mark Levin.
Yeah.
It's done with, and so I just call I call 1-641-741-239-2386,
Okay.
and that's Alex Jones is at the phone. And since I get unlimited minutes, I can, that brings you to a station deal where there's about 5 to 10 plus talk show hosts that you can listen to.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of pick and choose like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Because there's a lot of times like during the, in the mornings, I don't like listening to Sean Hannity all day, but the guy in the morning, he's like another Sean Hannity. His heart's, it's like listening to Pete and repeat, walking down the street.
Yeah.
He falls in the hole, what's next? He repeats.
Right.
They call it recapping. But anyways, that's just something I'll do now and again. But yeah, we'll miss you next week.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
You have a good day, guys.
We'll be
Good
back.
fishing.
All right. Take care. All right. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the air with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning. This is Patty. I got cut off, so please tell me if I can still talk or if I'm double dipping.
You're double dipping, Patty. We got to go. Sorry.
All right. I have a great letter to share. Can I send it by email? It's a letter
You
to
can
the
text. You can text us all you want or email us as well. All right. Got to go. All right. Yeah, we gotta keep our double dipping rule. We got to do that. Got to do
Sure.
that.
So the Commission on Presidential Debates in your country was established in 1987 during Reagan's presidency 33 years ago. It's a nonprofit, 501. It's sponsored by private contributions and from foundations and corporations, as well as from the hosting institutions or a university or sometimes where they have it. Its predecessor was the League of Women Voters, who sponsored the debates up until that time. So it was conceived by the League of Women, and both the Democratic and Republican leadership agreed to it in the guidelines. The one exclusion that's may bear up this year, although it has had a third party candidate before, but they're having a problem because it's being challenged in the courts because they exclude third party candidates now.
Yeah, in many cases.
So there you go.
Well, in some cases they say you have to get so much in the polls.
Yeah,
you got. Yeah, they've got some rules and guidelines because I think every year about 1,000 people run for president. They do.
You should be one of them.
I should. I should run. Yeah. I can't pass a cognitive test, so I'd be fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. So it is a proven fact that children have far less coronavirus receptors in their noses, making them far less likely to contract 19. Pigs are porcupine. And Tom, have a quick recovery. Many blessings, not your sister Tam. Well, thanks, not your sister Tam. I appreciate that. And let's see. Can't tell me the propaganda isn't being driven. Even the digital highway emergency signs tell you to keep your distance. If only the tailgaters would take the hint.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
I like
one.
that one.
That's a good one, yeah. Due to declining cognition, how can Biden even qualify for office? I wonder what the Democrats' plan B is. Well, I think we told earlier, we think he's going to pick Michelle Obama, and you'll get Barack back in the back room somewhere calling the shots. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know though.
Well, I have to tell you, ever since we started talking about Michelle, a week ago, there's been this run of tweeting on the demolition side, and all these people writing that they think Plan B is he gets a nomination and nominates her, makes the big speech, and then in September or early October resigns his position.
Opts out, says, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. So
yes. So then now remember, August 20th, 100th anniversary of women's suffrage. So that could be a key date. If he announces next week, and then maybe on the 20th, he withdraws, and then on the anniversary of women's suffrage, she picks another woman.
Yeah.
So it's her and another woman running for president. So there's an easy idea.
Yeah. Well, there have been instances, Truman ran without a vice president for a while. There's been some presidents that have finished their terms without having a vice president. Let's see what happens. Let's go back to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Oh, hi. This is Patsy.
Hey.
Good morning. Just some quick thoughts. I would say no to Oprah because we'd have OB in there, Obama.
Yeah.
Which would be bad news. And I don't quite understand what New York's doing with fines and traveling in the city. If you guys would explain that. One of the things that I've thought would really show the decline of this nation is if states start closing borders and we don't have free travel.
Yeah.
So just watch out, people, for everything about that to legislate against stuff like that. And then a good psychologist said one time, don't analyze the darkness, turn on the light.
Yeah, there you are.
I'll leave people with that.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Well, Montana doesn't have the manpower to put people at the border checking everybody that comes into our state. We can't do that. But in New York, de Blasio says he is going to stop out-of-state license plates coming in, and I don't know whether they're going to pull them off to the side or something so traffic can continue, but they're going to ask them about quarantining and make sure they know what they're supposed to do to protect New York City. And go ahead.
What he also said was at his news conference was this: the police are going to wave everyone down. They're going to hand them some paperwork to fill out, provide them, and then guidelines to go into the city. The guidelines are that they have to, self-quarantine for at least 14 days. They have all their information, where they're going to stay and so forth. It's like filling out an immigration, customs form, coming into your country. And then they're warned that if they break any of the guidelines, it's $10,000 fine. And if found intentional, they could be put in jail. So now to be a tourist in New York City, you're under the threat of a $10,000 fine because you want to go look at the Empire State Building or other nice places.
All right. Yeah. All right. Clarification from Not Your Sister Tam. Porcine. Tom, not porcupine. Porcine is what pigs are called. So you'll have porcine inserted in a subterranean vegetable for a tater pig, I guess. So I wondered about that. I think I was probably pronouncing that wrong, but hey, it's Saturday, I guess, huh?
It is Saturday.
Yeah, from our text line, 478-8298, since bathroom labels are so confusing, discriminating to the LGBT community, maybe we can get a bathroom labeled "Individuals with uteruses have to keep perverts out of that particular bathroom." I guess I don't know what that means. Let's see. What else we got here? I think we're caught up there. Let's go over to our app chat line. And on our app chat line of Speaker of the House, well, let's talk about that for a second, Shane, because we may or may not know the results of the election by January 20th with mail-in ballots. So that's entirely possible that could happen. And if that does, then
unless it's a landslide.
Unless it's a landslide, yeah. So unless the votes that aren't counted wouldn't matter anyway. So
Right.
But the speaker would be the temporary president if that happens. If we don't have a declared president by January 20th,
The new speaker.
well, they have to elect a new speaker.
That's what I said before when we brought this up.
Yeah.
So the new House would be seated in January. They would all take their oath. They'd sit down. They would segregate into their different groupings as they do, and the party with the largest with the majority, if they have one, which is 216, then they would choose a speaker, and that speaker would fill the position until such time president is decided, which has happened before in your republic.
Yeah. But if the votes aren't counted for the president in those states, then it would be obvious that the other people that are on the same ballot would not be elected either.
Correct.
Officially.
Well, actually, the House can the party that's in charge of the House with a majority can nominate whoever they want.
Yeah. But I mean, they wouldn't have people seated. They wouldn't have 435 people seated.
But that's what I said before.
Yeah.
If there's not a majority in the House confirmed by the election, then which there will be, because there won't be a difficulty with that. The bottom line is that they would gather in Washington, take their oath, sit down. The new speaker would be elected, and then she would put before the House nominations for president, and of course they'd nominate Trump, and the Democrats would probably want to nominate Biden, and then they would then vote and make the decision
until the votes are counted.
Until the votes are counted, correct?
Yeah.
Unless it's a landslide.
Yeah. But the Speaker of the House would be the temporary president until a president.
No.
Yeah.
No. There would be no president because Trump is in office till January 20th.
Yeah. After, but if the votes, if the votes aren't counted by then, the Speaker of the House becomes the acting president
until the 20th of January.
Yeah.
They are seated prior to that.
If the votes are counted, I'm talking about if the votes aren't counted by January 20th, who are you gonna seat? Who are you gonna swear in, Shane? I mean, there's no decision.
Okay. There will be a decision made in the House as to who wins the House. They will be seated before the 20th.
How would that decision be made?
By the election night.
Well, if they can't elect a president, the senators and House members are on the same ballot.
Yes. So
there's no definitive. So there's no definitive answer because all of the ballots haven't been counted or
what you're
verified.
Saying is you're suggesting that not only the presidential election, but the Senate and the elections are not decided on election night.
Right. And that's entirely possible with mail-in ballots.
That's correct.
Yeah. So you don't have,
but
you don't have new members to seat.
No, but he's president. He's president till the 20th of January.
I know, and on the 21st, if there's no, let's talk about the 21st. Forget the 20th. Let's talk about January 21st.
no. You're talking about what would happen before the 20th.
No, I'm talking about what will happen after the 20th.
If there's no decided majority in the House of Representatives prior to the January 20th, the House cannot vote on who to appoint president.
Right.
Because it has to be the new House that would do that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But according to what
and Nancy Pelosi would not. Nancy Pelosi would not be the Speaker of the House.
Yeah. Well, that's the issue. Because what I've read is that on January 21st, if they don't have a president, that the current House would have to still be there, and Nancy would be the acting president until the votes are decided.
No,
because she's third in line for the presidency.
No, I understand that. Yeah. Fourth in line is the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it's something to ponder. So it might be possible.
It will not happen.
It probably won't. It probably won't happen. You know, but we're here to talk about things.
Yeah,
you know?
I appreciate that. I got it.
Okay, good. All right. We'll be back with more, and we'll have the new COVID numbers. 7 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock. 7 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. Saturday, August 8th, 2020. Tom and Shane on the air. And Shane and I are having a little problem communicating on the telephone because the stupid phone lines here are all messed up as we constantly battle with them. But we have you on Skype, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say this. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, good. All right. I will try to call you. The question earlier about January 20th, the Constitution mandates that a presidential term ends the 20th, meaning that President Donald Trump and Vice President Pence would be out. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi would be next in line, but she would be out on January 3rd if federal elections were delayed. Next in line would be President Pro Tem of the Senate, which is Chuck Grassley. And it's worth noting that the process could change since only 65 senators would remain in the Senate on January 3rd of 2021 if the elections were delayed. Since a majority of the remaining senators would be Democrats, they could select a new President Pro Tem of the Senate. Governors could also replace these vacant seats with appointed senators. And then the delaying election would be unprecedented, so it's unclear exactly how the transformation of power would work. It's possible that states could hold elections on their own under continuity powers, but under the traditional succession rules, Representative Pelosi would not be available since she would be out of power if federal elections were delayed. So if there's no president elected or whatever by the 21st, it makes sense that if we don't have a plurality for president, we wouldn't have a plurality for the House members and the Senate members that would be on the same ballot with the president.
Assuming there's no decision on election night or prior to the 20th of January of the House seats.
Yeah.
And who controls the House.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the House would be at
Pro Tem of the Senate.
Yeah, but the House would be out on January 3rd. So
that's correct.
And the Senate. Yeah.
The new House would be seated
if they're elected by the 20th.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they have to be elected by then. So okay.
And if a majority of 216 were elected prior to the January 20th, then the House would be seated. In other words, there could be several dozen just Democratic seats because of a landslide that weren't decided, but the Republicans could have a majority of the House already elected.
Yeah.
So they could then be seated after the 2nd of January. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of
Oh yeah, there's 100 possibilities, and that's why we're bringing it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They need 217 for a majority. 435 divided by 2. So.
Yeah, 216 plus 1. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be it. Yeah. So. Programming note, we will not be here next Saturday. I'm going in this week for elective surgery, and so I will not be here next Saturday. I don't know about a co-host was suggested, or maybe Jacobus or somebody like that. The only problem I could see with that is that they changed our system here from when Jacobus was on the air. So I would need to talk to him and see how comfortable he would be doing that. The show runs pretty much automatically, but that might be an option. Yeah, that might be an option. And Shane and Jacobus could be here, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how that would work. But yeah, maybe I'll give Jacobus a call this week and see if I'll check with Scott, see if Scott wants to do that. That would help him out a lot, because otherwise he's going to have to program something to be in here in our place next week. So we are going to try to do podcasts as possible.
Next week, I don't know if it's Saturday or it's Thursday, Friday, but next week my sister Tammy's filling in for Aaron. So
Aaron
I'll speak to her, because we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right, let's see. Gee, he didn't call us? What the hell's up with that?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Yeah, I guess it costs too much for us to come over there and stay in some ratty, they put us up in a homeless shelter over there near the studio.
A 5-star hotel.
Yeah, right.
Right on the 32nd floor or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah, I got a view of the mountains and all of that. So anyway. But let's see. In other news, talking about the border, infected illegal aliens are being taken to American hospitals. Shane, Mark Morgan, the acting U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, described a dangerous scene at the U.S. southern border on Tuesday. 10 border agents have died in the line of duty due to the coronavirus. They said in a press conference that overall border crossings are down by about half when compared to last year, but he said his agents have faced serious health risks when responding to those illegal immigrants, where one infected person can infect hundreds of others. And migrants continue to ignore their country's stay-at-home guidance, as well as they continue to ignore the guidance of global experts. And we must secure our borders from illegal aliens who show their complete disregard for even the most basic application of health and safety. So got that going for you. So happy New Year.
We want to remind everyone, because of what your president did with third country agreements like the one we have with Canada. He did that with the Central American countries, which is why those caravans stopped, because third country agreement means if you go through a country to get to a country, the country you end up can send you home. So that's why there's no more caravans. But Mexico is collapsing under COVID and their failed medical system. Mm-hmm. It's heading towards a failed state on its own.
Yeah.
So these people coming in from Mexico are in dire need, but it won't take a lot to overwhelm, the border states, California, Texas, and so forth, Arizona, overwhelm their medical systems. So. Yeah, it is a problem we've talked about on the podcast, and something to, we jokingly said when Trump talked about building a wall, it would be to keep people out because of the great economy. Now you needed to keep them out because of a plague. So,
yeah.
He didn't even get credit for that, right?
I guess not.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
From our app chat line, Bruce says, no, the House votes for president, the Senate votes for vice president. That would be true if the House and Senate are seated on the 20th. But for some reason, we wouldn't have a plurality vote for the presidency. So that would be true. But we're talking about after the 20th, if we don't have anybody I guess we don't have much of a government other than the people who aren't up for re-election, but the entire House is up every 2 years. So, yeah, so we don't have a House. We don't have a House in there. So, all right, let's.
Yeah, the Senate.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and finish.
I did. A third of the Senate each year, and all in the entire House.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Is that me?
That's you.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm glad I started listening when Clint was on there because I knew exactly everything he was saying.
Yeah.
But you guys have lost me on this. Who's going to be a president?
Well, we're lost too. We don't know.
But the thing about Clint's deal about this Fauci, I don't know if you guys were talking about it earlier, but he has a patent pending that's he's got a patent, and it's one of the shots that's being investigated. If it goes through and they use his deal, he'll be worth $500 million. And I'm sure he got that patent on government money doing the work that he does. So it's really interesting that he started this flu, got it created in the Wuhan, and now he's going to be able to save us all.
Well, somebody's got to do it, huh?
I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call. All right. Oh, let's see. I don't know. I've heard that patent stuff before, and I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but anyway.
Well, I haven't heard anything to verify it, but
yeah,
Fauci has other problems that he's clearly having to deal with, and when this subsides and there's some management of this virus, this infection, it will all come to the forefront. But he was against it before he was against it, and it's just one of those things. You talk about people double dipping on this. I mean, he's double dipping on everyone's lives, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah. Well,
we've talked about it 50 years. Comes out of medical school at 28. He joins the National Institutes of Science, and ends up running one of the institutes for infections. He worked on the HIV virus, never found a vaccine, did find therapeutics to make it a manageable disease. He worked in the case of the Zika virus, no vaccine there, and it disappeared after they got funded with $1.5 billion. Yeah. And then, worked with Obama on the H1N1, but 1.5 billion people being infected wasn't enough to shut the economy down. And the vaccine that they've had on the H1N1 virus, which also came from China, has not proven to always be successful because it's a strain that duplicates, and they have to guess which one they think will show up during the flu season. And on average, you've lost about 64,000 souls a year to the flu virus. More children under the age of 8 have died from the flu virus this year than from COVID-19. So Dr. Fauci does not have a very, let's just say he's had a checkered history. And, having to convince the president to shut down your economy was one of those things. But we'll see where this ends up. It's going to be an interesting book of history.
It will be, yeah. A quick fact check. A viral social media post falsely claims Dr. Anthony Fauci and the imperialist is pushing remdesivir as a potential COVID-19 treatment drug. Because
that's a therapeutic.
Yeah, because he invented it with Bill Gates, and they stand to profit from it. Remdesivir was invented by the pharmaceutical company Gilead Sciences, which receives any profit from sales of the drug as a treatment for COVID-19. Another fact check they have are hospitals inflating the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths so they can be paid more. Recent legislation pays hospitals higher Medicare rates for COVID-19 patients and treatment, but there's no evidence of fraudulent reporting, as far as we know. How about that?
And also, just across the wire, folks, Biden has informed Fox News he's made his decision. He knows who his vice president is going to be, but he didn't tell him. He just said that he's made his decision.
Made his decision. Okay. And
it's a done deal.
Okay. So I guess we'll have to wait with on pins and needles, as Jerry said earlier. On who it's going to be. Who's it going to be, Shane? Boy, I don't know. So anyway, getting back to our president election and all of that, and the being stopped at the borders on states, from our text line 4788298, can we wear a yellow star to avoid a $10,000 fine, or can I pay it in 1934 Dutch marks?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where you're headed, buddy.
Yeah. Mark Levin explained all this earlier this week and talked about a 1 vote per state. So I don't know where he's getting the 1 vote per state, but I don't know. Maybe that's an option as well. So I don't know.
I haven't read that in the
Constitution. I don't know about that one. So So anyway, I think that brings us up to date on all of our app chats and our whatever the other thing is, text messages. So now the phone lines are open. So let's take some phone calls. 522-TALK is the number. 522-8255. Caller, you're on the air with Tom and Shane. What's up?
It's about time.
Yeah. Well, we're busy here,
Yeah, sure you are.
If I'd known it was you, I'd have left you on longer.
I know. I'm surprised you didn't. Yeah. Are you over the masquerade
Good morning, Pete.
yet, or
Glad
what?
you called in. It's good to hear your voice.
I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah. Are you done with it? No mask for you. No. You don't care. Yeah. I'm with
done
you.
with the masquerade.
Yeah. I'm done with you. Yeah.
They you got all this heat coming down on the social media right now, and it's warranted. Don't get me wrong. But nobody ever talks about the other side of this story, and the control there, which is big pharma. They're in the way too much control in the medical journals, the mainstream media ads. That I don't know how many millions of dollars they must pour into the media for their ads in a week, but it's got to be substantial. The gratuities that they're giving to the doctors, they're free of liabilities for vaccines since '86, and now it appears they're going to be free from liability with the COVID vaccines. And I'm sorry, if you're a corporation that creates a product and you can't stand behind it, then you need to get out of that business. As far as I'm concerned. And you look at how many of their drugs have been recalled.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How much money
and how many class action suits have they had?
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
Because it's 50 cents a dose. So they go to remdesivir, which is $3,125 a treatment.
Yeah.
I know. We were talking about it yesterday on the podcast. How ridiculous!
They figure these guys out. But I don't think the people understand, just what's at stake here. I mean, they're talking about our very way of life.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about that earlier. If you're listening, Pete, that I think people have had it with all this mask wearing and all the bogus information that we're being fed, and every time you turn around, they move the goalposts as to what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and what works and what doesn't work, and how many people are infected, and all this is just, I don't know. It's
the bad thing is, Tom, is that the numbers are so far off.
Oh yeah,
pathetic. They've been caught lying. I mean, the numbers are out of whack to the extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, give us. And now they're talking about, well, Flossie says you may never shake hands again.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I shook hands with a couple guys yesterday.
Well, okay. I shook hands with my barber.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Give me a break. And then the big thing is the numbers. I think the American people I hope they are beginning to figure this out.
Yeah.
We were at, we hit 0.0151 today for the second time. Prior to that, for the last month and a half, 2 months, it's been 0.014 something. Okay.
Yeah, and folks,
so
he's talking
there.
about the mortality rate. So it's a similar mortality rate to the H1N1
I would not
flu.
call it a pandemic. I wouldn't even call it an epidemic. And how do they gauge those two things? By acres. Okay, how big the area is that the vaccine's there. It doesn't say that it's deadly or it's this or it's that. It just says, well, you've covered this much of the globe is under the influence of this virus. Well, we're always under the influence of one virus or another.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, there's no end to it, and I don't think there's going to be no end to it. But when I looked at you look around and the amount of money that was spent to poo-poo hydroxychloroquine has got to be in the millions and millions of dollars. I mean, you can't even stay, but you type it in on a social media and it's gone before you finish.
Yeah.
Well,
I still think it's up to your personal physician whether or not they want to prescribe that for you or not. So
there's doctors that are prescribing it, Tom, and the pharmacy won't fill it. What would happen?
In some states,
and I think the problem with hydroxy is not just COVID. The problem with hydroxy is they're going to put people. They're doing it in India. They're putting people on a maintenance dose of this. And what's going to happen if they say, "Oh, geez, I had diabetes and now that's gone too," or "I had this and that's gone too, and I had this and that's gone too."
Well, no, but
they're going to have a big problem.
They've been using it in India for malaria for 75 years.
Ain't going to have as much extra cash as they do right now to mess with us. Why did they do that in this country? Put the people that are at risk on a maintenance dose and let this thing burn through.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As I say, the ignorance of this, we got too many Indians running the reservation, I think.
Yeah, none of them are elected.
Or too many chiefs, I should say, running the reservation.
Yeah, right, and none of them are elected.
That's true. Yeah. How about that? People are dictating to us who we haven't had any say in them being in charge of us. How does that work?
They shouldn't be. If you want to bring it down to the states, that's fine.
Yeah.
But still, they're unelected officials at all levels, and everybody's got to get their 2 cents worth in. And Bossy, I ain't never seen anybody that loves the camera more than that guy.
I know. He likes it, doesn't he? Yeah.
He does. He just loves being on the air, baby.
Yeah.
Here,
right.
listen to me. Yeah. I'm the guy that told you I would have a vaccine for AIDS 36 years ago. 36 years ago.
Wow.
So
I gotta go, Pete.
I call that a failure.
All right, man. I gotta go.
Have
hey,
fun.
Thanks for the call. All right, appreciate it. Yeah. The Marlins, they're going to draft Fauci to pitch for them since they got so many COVID-19 cases over there. So, all right, when we come back, we'll give you the numbers on the COVID here in Gallatin Park and the other counties that we need to know about right after this. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Saturday, August 8th, 2020. Reminder, Shane and I will not be here next week. I am going in for elective surgery during the next week, and we will not be on next Saturday. But we should be back on the 22nd, I believe, with hopefully. So that's where we are. And Shane Tobin, half man, half amazing, my brilliant co-host of these many years, on the line with me. New cases, we had 133 new cases in the state of Montana, 75 deaths. Our deaths have gone up considerably here, and we have 81 active hospitalizations within the state. And I was going to say, let's see, Gallatin had 15 new cases, I believe, if I can find them here in a minute. Going to go back up to the top here. Yeah, Gallatin had 15 new cases. Yellowstone, again, leading. They had 49 new cases over in Yellowstone. Wow, they are ramping up. They've got 535 active cases over in Billings compared to our 57 here. And Bighorn, 14 cases there. Those two are leading the league. Missoula, 177 active cases up there. They've got 10 new ones. Let's see if I can find Park and Madison here. Madison County, 5 new cases in Madison. And go down here and see if I can find Park County, because I got to go through all of these. It looks like Park may not have any cases. Get down here to the P's. Yeah, Park County, no new cases. Park has 8 active cases, I guess, right now, and Madison has 11. We have 57 here, so that'll kind of bring you up to speed there. On the deaths reported anyway, we have 75. The New York Times is a day behind on the deaths, but in Gallatin, we've had 3, unless part of the 5 additional new deaths. But that is, everybody else is in 1s and 2s. Toole County had 6, but that was in a nursing home. And let's see, Yellowstone, of course, had 28, and about half of those or more were in a nursing home. So that's bringing you up to speed on the numbers. Those come out every morning at 10 o'clock, and then the New York Times has a very comprehensive thing as well. So that's kind of where we're reporting from. So that'll bring you up to speed on those. What's going on in Vancouver, Shane?
Oh, I already gave the numbers.
Well, people are joining us all the time. If you want to give them again, if you don't, that's fine.
1,934 confirmed cases, up 53 from yesterday. We've lost 195 in souls, and pray for all of them. Yeah. Recovered 38, 3,353 fully recovered, so we're at an 80% recovery rate.
All right, yeah. From our app chat line, why get a vaccine when you can do a treatment at $3,500 a month? Yeah, why? yeah. Why don't we just give the? Why can't I remember that word, Jade?
I don't know.
It's not a vaccine. It's a therapeutic. Why can't I? Yeah. Why can't I remember that name? That word. I don't know. So, well, in other local news, we need to talk a little bit about housing because according to recent information here, the restrictions to keep rent below market rates at places like Aspen Meadows, those are going to expire in July of 2021, according to a notice sent to the tenants there. And so the owners are in Denver. But anyway, property owners who receive low income tax credits can meet affordable requirements 3 different ways. All 3 mandate that a percentage of units are occupied by tenants who make less than the median income in the area. Owners are also required to set rents that do not exceed 30% of either 50 or 60% of median income in the area, depending on the property. And there are 15 properties in Bozeman right now that receive low-income tax credits, according to the Montana Board of Housing. And so those folks, the property owners, I guess once this expires, they have the option of upping rates to market rates if they so desire, or they can keep them at the at the current rate as long as they receive a subsidy from the government. And I guess if they don't receive that subsidy, they're out of luck. So let's see what's going on. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, my name is Taylor. I just wanted to ask you guys what you thought about some of solving these healthcare problems. Rather than having the government involved, why not have the nonprofit sector, take care of people? If if the government's coming in and controlling these things, couldn't they be solved in the private sector? But just wanted to see what you thought.
Yeah, I like that idea. Usually nonprofits don't pay very well, so to put people in harm's way, it's kind of sometimes that's hard to it's hard to get people to come in and volunteer. Obviously, we've had doctors volunteer for all sorts of things, to help out, and also there may be some legality with having trained personnel or non-trained personnel working with some people. So, unfortunately, that's a society we live in, where we have this litigious society where, we sue at the drop of a hat if someone doesn't do the right thing or whatever. So, I don't know. It's, I do like that idea though. I think that's why the government's involved. Private industry, of course, they have some legal protections from the the things they administer or the things they create. But still in all, it's a convoluted problem, no question.
Well, it is because the way nonprofit organizations are set up, of course, are by donations.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question that the government could utilize specific nonprofit organizations, but the vast majority of them operate outside your country, in third world countries primarily and developing countries. So the concept of of utilizing a nonprofit organization, it's interesting only in that it might be a way to set up a new government operation to handle this in a different way. They're talking about this with trackers. Of course, the Demolition Party wants to hire 1 million trackers to track you and everyone you've met, been with, and seen that day. So, there's all kinds of ideas out there. We'll see which one the new Congress floats or makes considers to do.
Yeah. Well, for all of you out there who favor single payer, take a look. Take a look at what you're getting with the government handling health care. Just sit back and relax and enjoy. If the government wants to run your health care, this is an example of what you're going to get.
100%
under a single payer system. So, please,
right. You're seeing it right now. 1.1.0. This is what your countries now experiencing. That, and as we've pointed out for the last 5 months, the new Green Deal. You're experiencing basically a 1.0 new Green Deal, so to speak, in having shut the country down and so forth. So, it's an interesting short list. This is like a kindergarten lesson.
It is, isn't it?
Instead of college.
This is 2 plus 2. It's not. It's not.
This is kindergarten.
This is not advanced calculus.
But Biden and the Demolition Party will give you college, 2.0.
That's right. Yeah, if you want to, as I say, if you want a full-fledged course in what the government run single care program would be, here you're looking right at it.
That's right. And I just want to remind everyone, because there was a time where Tom would always laugh about the inflation rate in Venezuela, but over the weekend, Moderna has sent his military into the streets now to seize food from people because the military and the government aren't getting enough foodstuffs for themselves, and they're gassing and of course arresting people, and over 22,000 people in the country now have COVID, and it's become a desperate situation there. And furthermore to that, the update, finally someone at the White House figured out that the guy that they were supporting to replace Maduro was more of a socialist than he is. Remember we laughed about that last year, Tom, when there was all that talk about, that the world supported this fellow to be, to replace Maduro. Well, well, that didn't start out too well.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. It's the more, I don't know. I'm so thankful we're on radio. I wish we were on 5 days a week to talk about this, but I mean, it's so ridiculous that everything that's happening is, just so scary. I don't know. Thankfully, we've only got about 89 days till the election. So we've got to get this thing done, Shane. We just have to get this thing done.
It's got to be. Yeah,
I mean, everybody's tired of it.
One fork in the road, right?
I know. Everybody's sick of it. We're tired of all the back and forth. We're tired of people not being able to make decisions. We're tired of people sitting on the sidelines. We're tired of people not speaking their mind. And, I mean, I want this over. I'm not looking forward to ice and snow on November 3rd, but please, let's just get this done, shall we?
Yeah, that's right. A fork in the road, either right or left, folks.
That's right.
And that's exactly where you're going.
I know. It can't come too soon for me. At my age, I treasure every day, but these 89 can go. As we've said many times, if people in the future want to travel back to a year, avoid 2020 like the plague. You do not want to come back to 2020. Any other year is fine. Yeah.
With our podcast and the Saturday show, that's like 65 more shows till election day.
Oh man, I don't even want to think about that. Well, at least when Biden finally makes his pick, that will quell some of this, I guess. Well, yeah, you said he has, but he hadn't. Yeah, he just hasn't announced it yet. So I don't know. So from our text line 4788298. So peppers have to worry about jackbooted thugs taking their food now. Yes, they do. That's where we are.
Their toilet paper.
That's right. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah. What gold went to 2,000, and so did toilet paper during the COVID.
It's golden. It's golden, Eagle Man.
That's right. There, as you said, Shane, many times, there are things you want, things you need.
That's exactly.
What do you buy? I'm sorry, that gold isn't good for wiping.
I can't wait to see the kids, putting up, stands out front of their house, out front of their house, selling not lemonade but toilet paper.
Yeah,
rolls.
That's right. That, paper towels, and Lysol wipes.
That's right.
That's going to be the big sales there. Cars will be lined up around the block. So, well, let's hope so. I don't know. Well, also the stimulus bill, they still haven't decided what the heck they're going to do here. They're looking at $2 trillion, $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, $3 trillion. I don't know. They can't come to a measure here. The big things I think that they're looking at, the Republicans want to continue the $600 a week. That's $15 an hour minimum wage, which they're shooting for anyway. They want to go to that minimum wage, and that's where we are. And also, they also do not want you to be able to sue a business if you catch COVID there, and how you're going to prove you got it at that business.
And they don't want to bail out states that have been mismanaged. But I think what your president will do politically and policy-wise is he will enhance and fund unemployment insurance in states. Because one of the requirements about unemployment insurance is you have to go in to get it to say you've been looking for work and can't find it.
Right. Yeah.
So that'll be the winning policy for him. Oh, I want to give everyone an update about testing. You know, your president talks about the huge amount of testing that's being done in your country, but guess what? It's August, folks, and people in Europe, particularly England, they take off. So the medical ministry in England has now put out a bulletin saying we are gone for the month of August on holidays.
Yeah.
So in England right now, you're waiting 2 hours for a in a lineup of cars for a COVID test, just because everybody had to go on summer holiday.
Well, and that's no guarantee.
That's government med for you, baby. That's where you go, a single pair.
Well, I get a test Monday before surgery, so I'll know Monday if I'm COVID free or not. So
that's
so I'll let you know, Shane, if I pass or fail.
They'll find out what blood type is. We want to know what your blood type is.
It's A negative.
Oh, okay.
Only 7% of the population have my blood type.
Very rare blood. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
But you are thinking Eagle Man.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm on the road.
All right.
Hey, I need an opinion. I listened to a interview last night. And this was with John Dole. And he went in for a COVID test. He tested positive. He went in the next day with an alias name, and he tested negative. So I'm wondering about this. And there was an MD at the interview, and they asked her, what do you think about that? She did not have an answer for it. So I'm thinking there's a lot of phony baloney out there.
Well, I think there is. I think
there really isn't. That's what's called in science. They call that a false positive.
Are you still?
The test he took.
Are you still with me?
If it was a blood test.
Yeah. Okay.
If it was a blood
test. I just want your opinion on it because when I go into Walmart or Costco, I of course wear a mask, and that's it. That's the extent of it. I just went and visited with family, and we don't wear masks, and we have been doing this for months.
Yeah.
And I feel great now. I'm 82 years old, and I have never seen anything like this in my life. I remember back in the 1940s when I was a boy, my father took us to Minneapolis to visit a relative, and the streetcars were vacant, the parks were vacant, and this kind of reminds me of that. But this is entirely different than the polio epidemic. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's for sure. Well,
that's it. I don't have anything more to add to that.
Okay.
I just question the whole thing, and I'm hoping it's all going to go away after the election.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. Let's hope it goes somewhere.
You guys have a great day and be safe.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right, appreciate it. 522 Talk is the number. 522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey guys, it's Mayor.
Hi, Mayor.
I think what we're experiencing is medical tyranny, and if you've noticed, I mean, it's similar to I would say it's. We're getting a taste of communism because they're taking away all the fun things there are to do, except you can protest. That's not a problem. They're forcing us with huge fines in some areas of the country to wear masks. Even healthy people are supposed to wear a mask. They're threatening now, if you're a large crowd or you're having a party, well, how many people are in a party to cut your power and your water? And then once this rent moratorium, goes away and people haven't worked and can't pay the rent, and then they're, evicted, where are all those people going to go?
Yeah.
Are they going to be building these high rises so they can stack and pack us? They're limiting travel. Look at New York. I mean, even Montana, who has, we've had, in 1 minute, we've had as many people, 1 minute in New York is the amount of deaths we've had in Montana, and they're limiting travel from Montana into New York City without the 2-week quarantine. So, there's no new vehicles being made, so we're all, having, people are going to be buying used. And so everything is just setting up to, me, it looks like communism. I don't know what else you call it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's starting to look like Cuba around here, except the stuff that,
I know.
What concerns me, darling, is that the Demolition Party is a secular party. They believe in mankind. They don't believe in the glory of God. And this whole methodology that these blue state governors have used to isolate people, including taking away their right to go to church, how do you think people in those states are going to react to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she left. She's off the line.
Oh, she left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're running out of time here. Let's see. Yep. Well, according to the Associated Press, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer traveled to Delaware last weekend to meet with former Vice President Joe Biden, the presumptive Democrat presidential nominee. Two high-ranking Michigan Democrats told the AP on the condition of anonymity. If the reports are accurate, Whitmer would be the first known potential running mate to sit down for an in-person meeting with Biden, who is reportedly narrowing down his list of contenders. Whitmer's office declined to confirm, but flight records show a chartered plane flew from Lansing to Delaware, and she's a first-time governor in a battleground state and has long been considered a possible running mate for Biden. So it may be all that's everything that's going on there. Michigan would be a state Biden desperately needs. So
absolutely,
that might be his choice. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he may.
Well,
not,
I just find it fascinating because this whole thing with the NRI. The National Rifle Association, NRA. Mm-hmm. Biden stepped on it again and said, it should end. I don't know. It just seems to be there's just so many people living in the mountains, living in the woods, maybe haven't voted before, and people concerned about their Second Amendment rights. They all talk. Mm-hmm. And even if it's by tic tac or it's by smoke signals or whatever, I think a lot of people that it's going to be a big choice.
It will be. All right. Say goodbye, Shade.
Goodbye, Eagle Man. Everyone, be happy, be safe, live in the moment, live to work. Thank God, the people of the United States and Canada are so blessed, and we're lucky to live in the best two country clubs in the world.
Amen to that. All right, we're out of time. We've got to go. Hey, we will not be here next week. I'm going in for elective surgery, and but I should be back on the 22nd, and maybe we'll have a guest host in here. Who knows? We'll find out. So anyway, if not, you'll be treated to some quality show, I'm sure. Hey, all views are welcome here, and remember, if you think it there's a darn good chance we'll say it here. So we'll see everybody next week. Bye, Shane. Thanks so much for being here, and we are out of here.